What if I told you there is a city older than writing, older than kings, older than what we call history itself? A city where humans lived before civilization was supposed to exist. No empires, no metal tools, no written language. Yet, they built homes, planned streets, performed rituals, and understood the world in ways we are only beginning to rediscover. This is not a myth. This is not a legend. This city is real, and its existence breaks everything we were taught about the past. Tonight we travel back, not thousands, but tens of thousands of years, to uncover the city older than history itself. History, as we know it, begins with writing. Around 3200 BCE, humans invented symbols, records, and names. Everything before that we casually call prehistory, as if nothing meaningful happened. But humans didn't suddenly wake up intelligent one day. They loved, they feared, they believed, they remembered, and they built. For a long time, historians believed this. Humans were nomads first. Then farming began. Then cities appeared. But what if that order is wrong? What if cities came before agriculture? That idea sounded insane, until one place was discovered. In southeastern Turkey, there is a hill. For centuries, locals thought it was nothing special, just another mound of dirt. But in the 1990s, archaeologists dug beneath it. What they found shocked the world. Stone pillars, massive, perfectly carved, arranged in circles, some weighing 20 tons. And here's the impossible part. This site is over 11,600 years old. That makes it twice as old as the pyramids, older than Stonehenge, older than the first cities of Mesopotamia, older than history itself. This place is called Göbekli Tepe, and it should not exist. According to old textbooks, humans at that time were hunter-gatherers. No metal tools, no wheels, no animals for transport. Yet Göbekli Tepe required planning, organization, leadership, shared belief. You cannot move stones this heavy without cooperation. You cannot design this place without knowledge. You cannot gather people like this without purpose. So the question becomes terrifying. What kind of humans were alive 12,000 years ago? They were not primitive. They were something else. Here's the strangest part. Göbekli Tepe has no homes, no kitchens, no graves. This was not a place to live. This was a place to gather. A sacred city, a ceremonial center. People traveled long distances just to be here. Why? Because belief came before civilization. Not farming, not kings, not laws. Belief carved into the stones are animals. Snakes, foxes, birds, lions, but not random art. These carvings repeat. They tell a story. Some researchers believe they represent constellations, cosmic events, a memory of a catastrophe. One theory suggests Göbekli Tepe records a massive comet impact around 10,800 BC, an event that caused climate collapse, extinction, the end of an age. What if this city was built to remember something too important to forget? Now comes the most mysterious part. Göbekli Tepe was not destroyed. It was intentionally buried, stone by stone, carefully. Why would a civilization bury its own sacred city? Possibilities. The belief system changed. A disaster occurred. Knowledge was sealed away. It's as if they wanted to preserve it for someone else. For us, if Göbekli Tepe exists, then religion came before cities. Cooperation came before agriculture. Civilization began much earlier than we thought. This site forces historians to rewrite human history. And here's the scary part. Göbekli Tepe is not alone. Similar sites are being discovered, meaning this was not an exception. It was the beginning. If humans could do this 12,000 years ago, what else did they know? What knowledge was lost? What stories were never written? History is not wrong. It is incomplete. The city older than history itself doesn't just tell us about the past. It asks us a question. How much of human knowledge has been forgotten? Maybe civilization didn't slowly rise. Maybe it fell and rose again. And maybe, somewhere beneath the earth, other cities are still waiting to remind us who we really are. For decades, historians believed one thing. Humans settled down because they learned farming. But Göbekli Tepe tells a different story. These people were still hunters. They followed animals. They moved with seasons. And yet, they returned to this place again and again, which means something powerful pulled them here. Recent studies suggest something radical. Religion may have created agriculture to feed workers, to support rituals, to keep people together. In other words, humans didn't build temples because they had food. They grew food because they had temples. This flips human history upside down. Belief came first. Civilization followed. If Göbekli Tepe was a sacred site, then someone had to lead it. But there were no kings, no palaces, no thrones. Instead, there may have been spiritual leaders. People who understood the sky, read animal behavior, remembered ancient events, passed knowledge through stories. These were not rulers of land. They were guardians of memory, the first priests. Long before organized religion, humans were already searching for meaning. One of the most controversial ideas. Göbekli Tepe might be aligned with the stars. Certain pillars match the positions of Orion, Cygnus, Taurus. Animals carved on stone may represent constellations. If true, this means humans mapped the sky before writing, before mathematics, before recorded science. They looked up and understood patterns, not superstition, observation, memory. Some researchers believe these people survived something terrible. Around 10,800 BCE, Earth entered a sudden cold period. Ice returned, animals disappeared, humans suffered. This event is called the Younger Dryas. One theory suggests a massive comet impact. Fire from the sky, floods, darkness. What if Göbekli Tepe was built as a response, a warning, a remembrance, a way to say, this happened once. Never forget. Now here's where it gets unsettling. Nearly every ancient culture tells a flood story. Mesopotamia, India, China, Mesoamerica, Africa. Different names. Same theme. A great destruction. A reset of humanity. What if these are not myths? What if they are memories? Passed down orally for thousands of years? Göbekli Tepe may be the first physical evidence of a world before the flood. Göbekli Tepe is not alone anymore. Nearby sites, Karahan Tepe, Sayburç, Sefertepe, all buried, all ancient, all advanced. And this raises a dangerous question. How many ancient cities are still underground? How many chapters of human history are literally buried beneath our feet? We have explored less than 10% of Earth's ancient sites. History is mostly undiscovered. Civilizations rise. Civilizations fall. When they fall, knowledge dies with them. No libraries, no hard drives, only memory. And memory fades. Göbekli Tepe survived only because it was buried. If it hadn't been, we would never know. This idea makes people uncomfortable. But history suggests we are not the first advanced humans. We are the latest survivors. Different tools, different technology, same intelligence. The past was not simple. It was complex, fragile, and easily erased. If humans once built sacred cities without writing, what will future humans think of us? If our world collapses, skyscrapers become ruins, satellites fall silent, digital records vanish, all that remains. Stone, symbols, mystery, just like Göbekli Tepe. And that brings us to a final realization. The city older than history itself is not just about the past. It is a warning. The city older than history itself doesn't just tell us about the past. It asks us a question. How much of human knowledge has been forgotten? Maybe civilization didn't slowly rise. Maybe it fell and rose again. And maybe, somewhere beneath the earth, other cities are still waiting to remind us who we really are.